Like a lot of people, my personal choice of video games are the competitive ones. There's something about competing that really speaks to me. I was high diamond in League of Legends, legend in Hearthstone, and currently face at level 10 in Counter-Strike. Over the years of playing these games, I've learned one critical lesson when it comes to improving at any game, and that is, tilting severely affects your mental health, your long-term improvement as a player, and most notably, your short-term success associated with your ELO or MMR. If you've ever experienced a loss streak, then you know that most of the time, these streaks are often accompanied with extreme levels of tilt. And as you lose more, you become more tilted. Over the years, I've been forced to come to terms with tilting and have designed very specific methods for overcoming it. The large portion of this video's audience will likely be Counter-Strike players, but regardless of the game that you play, these principles will apply to any and all competitive games. But before we get started, we need to take a moment to talk about today's sponsor.
SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a fully automated CS2 trading site. SkinsMonkey provides an instant way to get new skins. Along with that, they have a 24/7 live chat support, so if you run into any problems, they'll be right there to help you. If you're interested in finding a specific skin, you can use their search tool. Better yet, if you're not sure what skin you're looking for, you can use their filter tool to find exactly what you're looking for. If you use my promo code RIDEORDIE, you can earn up to $5 for free. Trade up $100 to make the most of it. Now, if you don't want to trade your skins but you'd rather buy, SkinsMonkey is now offering a 30% deposit bonus. And if you use my promo code RIDEORDIE, you'll receive an additional 5%. Remember, use code RIDEORDIE to get up to $5 for free and claim your 35% deposit bonus. Thank you, SkinsMonkey, for sponsoring this video.
The first technique that I want to discuss is something called self-distancing. Your success with this concept largely depends on your ability to monitor the way you talk to yourself. Saying things like, "I'm terrible" or "I'm so bad" serve no benefit to yourself and will often result in an even greater loss of confidence, which then translates to an even worse performance. So instead of doing this, something I've done is become more constructive when I criticize myself. Saying things like, "I'm not playing well, but this could be due to my crosshair placement." I know this sounds somewhat corny, but really, this will do a lot for your confidence in-game and help prevent you from getting into that tilted state. A part of this technique is also creating a dialogue in your mind about what a coach would be saying to you while you play. If you've never been coached before and don't quite know what kind of advice you'd receive, I strongly recommend finding a good coach. But if you can't afford one, a simple trick is to imagine the kind of advice you'd be giving yourself if you could spectate your own game. A lot of the time when we make dumb plays in our matches, it's largely due to being in autopilot mode and not critically thinking about the game state. If you're constantly analyzing your actions and formulating high percentage plays, you'll almost never fall into this kind of autopilot state. Something else you can try is called preemptive mental resets. This technique requires you to constantly re-baseline your emotions so you can find focus on the next round or the next half. When I used to play League of Legends, every time I would recall, I would try to mentally reset myself and analyze the state of the game. How I've employed this technique in Counter-Strike is by refocusing myself during the buy period of each round. During this time, I calm myself regardless of what the previous round's outcome was. Doing this even during winning games will enable you to find more success when playing in more difficult matches. If you have a hard time remembering to do this, you can associate this with a physical cue. That could be tapping your mouse pad, wiggling your mouse, or even readjusting your headset, which, if you've watched my stream, is something I do quite often. Regardless of what you do, the intent is to enter each round with a clear mind so your judgment isn't clouded and you can perform at your very best. Something that goes along with this is considering your mistakes immediately after each death. Every time you make a mistake in a match, you're given an opportunity to learn. If instead you immediately start spectating your teammates and get too caught up in the match, then you're giving yourself no time to reflect on your decisions to help prevent such an error from happening in the future. Let's talk a little bit about ELO. Due to the nature of most competitive games being team-based, and Counter-Strike being no different, it's important to remember that ELO isn't a 100% accurate measurement of your skill level. Unlike most fighting games and chess, there are too many outside variables, i.e. teammates and opponents. This makes it impossible to confidently correlate ELO to skill level. But of course, ELO is an accurate measurement of the skill range you play in. For example, if someone is 1,200 ELO on FACEIT and has well over 300 matches played, I can confidently say that their skill level is plus or minus 200 ELO from where they actually are. The reason why this is the case is because exactly what I said earlier. There are too many variables. I say this because so many players get caught up in their skill rating. They'll get an inflated level of confidence due to a win streak that was largely not attributed to their own performance. And the same players will feel massively tilted when they go on a crazy loss streak when that same streak is largely not attributed to their own performance. What does matter far more than anything is actually improving. If we reframe our mindset to accept that losing streaks will happen and winning streaks will also happen, but neither will affect our mental state because all we care about is getting better. If we focus solely on improving as a player instead of this imaginary number associated with our skill level, then what you'll notice is losses will affect you far less than they did before. Along with that, things like queue anxiety and tilt will also entirely fade away. The way I think about this concept is like this. If I were given two options, To have twice as much elo as I have now, or to have half as much elo as I do have now, but the skill level equivalent to the best player in the world, I would 100% of the time take the latter. It doesn't matter what the number associated with your skill says. What really matters is your actual skill. Being blinded by your rank or elo will only ever prevent you from reaching your true potential as a player. Now, I know what I'm about to say is going to be something you've heard a million times before from other content creators, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you're tilted, take a break. There is nothing more detrimental to your mental health and your improvement if you play through tilt. I know it's really easy to say just take a break because I've been there before. I know what it's like to lose game after game after game just to queue another and to lose. There were times that the only thing I was genuinely concerned with was my elo or my rank, which forced me to always want to win my elo back and never stop queuing. I know most of you are familiar with this term, but for those that aren't, this is the literal definition of tilt queue. When I play now, I'm usually streaming, so it's hard for me just to take breaks, but when I'm off stream or before I start doing YouTube, after each game, regardless of the outcome, I would always wait at least a few minutes before getting back into another. Now, when you're really tilted, I recommend taking a much longer break and even stop playing entirely for the day. But if you're anything like how I am, that being completely obsessed with improving and playing as much Counter-Strike as I can, then I highly recommend doing something other than playing matches, which will also result in you getting better. My go-to would be to either DM, watch my own demos, watch pro demos, or simply shoot bots in a workshop map. If I was doing none of those things, then I was likely doing exercises in aim labs. Regardless of what it is that you're doing, it's important to remember that playing tilted is not going to win you games. In fact, it's going to do quite the opposite. The last concept I want to cover before I close the video out is self-accountability. There are two reasons why I want to talk about this. One, it's one of the most significant reasons why people start tilting. They watch their teammates play and become frustrated that they're performing poorly. And because they lack the ability to take accountability for their own mistakes, they immediately blame someone or something else for their losses. And two, self-accountability or lack thereof is the exact reason why I see people who have thousands of hours in a game but fail to ever climb into higher ranks. Constantly shifting blame to someone else other than yourself limits your ability to identify your own shortcomings. If you never figure out the real reason why you're performing so poorly in your matches, then you'll never improve as a player. A lot of the time, this inability to be accountable for your own performance is due to an ego. If you truly believe that you don't belong in your current elo, then the harsh truth is you're just wrong. Alan Watts has a quote I think a lot about. Waking up to who you are requires letting go of who you imagine yourself to be. All in all, tilting sucks. This skill of managing my emotions is something that's taken me years to work on. And being 100% honest, I still fall victim to my emotions sometimes. Sometimes I'll have really bad self-talk and I'll still sometimes go on losing streaks, but none of that really affects me like it used to. The honest truth is, using these methods I've shown in this video are the main reason why I was able to improve as much as I did for every game that I've played. And if you have any methods you use, write a comment down below explaining what it is that you do. I'm always willing to try new ways to manage tilt and improve as a player. I hope this video has helped you with managing tilt. Before I end the video, I want to quickly thank all the Ride or Die YouTube members. Recently, we just passed 100 members, and honestly, words don't do much justice to explain how grateful I am. Every person that joins gets us one step closer to making YouTube my full-time job. So seriously, thank you. Also, if you want to win some free skins, find people to play with, or ask me questions directly, you can join the Ride or Die Discord. Link to that will be in the description. But that's all I got. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with my content, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified. Thanks for watching.